Italiano.
Everyone, and welcome to Football Italia here in Genoa this week for, we hope, another exciting afternoon of top Serie A fun as we bring you Sampdoria against Milan live. A game that's really all about Europe. Both teams doing well on the continent this week, especially Sampdoria, but both teams, now that we enter the final third of the season, needing to knuckle down and secure one of those vital UEFA places for next time around. And Samp and Milan, both rivals for these, coming face to face on our screens today, and thus something of a heated game in store. Not just for that reason either, as Kenneth Wartenheim now explains.
This afternoon, Milan, winners of the Italian Championship for the past 3 seasons, visit Sampdoria, the last club to hold Lo Scudetto before the Rossoneri's recent domination of Serie A. It's a big game between two of the biggest clubs in Italy. However, this afternoon, the game and both clubs will be overshadowed by one player, the man who decided this fixture last year, Ruud Gullit. The Dutch genius spent 6 seasons with Milan between 1987 and 1993, playing a major role in 3 championships and 2 European Cup victories. However, in 92-93, Gullit began to feature less and less in Coach Capello's plans, spending much of the season on the bench. Despite several match-winning performances, Gullit couldn't win back a regular place, and in the summer of '93 moved to Sampdoria. What followed proved how wrong Milan had been to let him go. Samp weren't at their best for much of the season, but inspired by their dreadlocked playmaker, still managed to finish 3rd in the league and win the Italian Cup. Ruud Gullit was everyone's choice for Player of the Year. Last summer, Milan accepted their mistake, and in one of the shock moves of the pre-season, lured Gullit back. What followed was even more surprising. After a bright start in which Gullit scored 3 goals in 3 games, rumours began to circulate. Reports had it that several dissenting voices in the Milan dressing room were unhappy with the preferential treatment Gullit had and was receiving. By the 3rd month of the campaign, tensions in the Milan camp had become apparent on the field, and with the Rossoneris staggering from bad to worse at home and in Europe, Gullit made another momentous decision. He went back to Sampdoria, admitting his return to Milan had been a big mistake.
I listened to my heart. I said, my heart said, I want to do it. And unfortunately, it went wrong. So that was my biggest defeat, that you can't take any more decisions by the heart, but you have to take them by the head. And that's a great defeat.
With heart and head now firmly back with Samp, Gullit has once again inspired something of a revival within the Genoese club. However, the events of last summer proved that Milan still mean a lot to the Dutchman, and this afternoon he...
So Ruud Gullit part 2, this time it's personal coming up, but in the meantime we're joined by someone else who has a very personal stake really in today's game, one of Samp's glorious exes, Liam Brady. Liam, nice to be back.
Yeah, it's very pleasant, James. I had 2 marvellous years here, and it's a very good club.
Right. I must just say everyone's stopping Liam and shaking his hand and other bits of him as he wanders around the streets here. Now, Samp haven't been having the best of times this season, but a very impressive win for them midweek against Porto. I don't know if you saw that result. Yeah,
it was an excellent result. It's really kept their season going, because they've been inconsistent in the league. But they've had some really good performance in the European Cup Winners' Cup, and now they find Arsenal in the next in the semi-final, which is a great tie.
Right, another of your ex-clubs. Because I mean, as you point out, they have been inconsistent in the league, but people are saying that this has really given a kickstart to their season. How do you see them against Milan today?
Well, it's a very interesting game. They have to keep going. Both teams have to keep going to be sure in Europe to be in Europe next season. Right. You know, they've got UEFA Cup places to be going. Milan, of course, are in the semi-final of the European Cup, and Sampdoria in the cup we already mentioned. It's a big game, it always is, and I suppose the main man today is going to be Ruud Gullit. The focus of attention is going to be on him because he left Milan in somewhat controversial circumstances.
He certainly did. He rather left them in a bit of a state back in November, and indeed Ken now reports that they managed to pick things up a bit since his departure.
Back in November, Ruud Gullit's departure did little to improve morale at Milan. Since then, of course, Milan have regrouped. they've risen from mid-table to third in the league, cruised into the European Cup semi-finals, and once again are a force to be reckoned with. The primary source of inspiration in the champions' revival has been Dejan Savicevic. The Montenegrin magician has, after nearly 3 years at the club, finally delivered the consistent run of form he'd always promised, and the results have followed. This afternoon, however, Sampdoria will have far more than Savicevic to worry about. There's Zvonimir Boban, another Slavic genius, who poses a constant threat with his runs from deep. Marco Simone, Milan's star man of recent weeks, has scored 6 times in his last 4 outings. And Gianluigi Lentini, the world's most expensive player, has finally returned from injury and looks bang in form. However, despite that host of attacking options, Milan still have a worry in defence. Although the Baresi-led backline have recovered from the shambolic performances of the first half of the campaign, conceding just 1 goal in their last 5 outings, the 4 goals Lazio put past them a month ago exposed some lingering vulnerability. With players like Hullet, Lombardo, Mancini and Platt at their disposal, Samp are in the perfect position to expose any signs of weakness. All in all, we look set for a battle royal.
So Milan looking a formidable proposition again, Liam. Now sadly my increasingly gaunt-looking soundman has decided to bet his breakfast on today's game as usual. He's gone for Milan. That means I've had to plump for Sam. Who do you think is going to come out of this better off?
Well, I'll go for Milan as well. I think they've got more incentive on today's game. I still think they're in with a chance of the title, Lo Scudetto, and I think they'll bear that in mind. And probably Sampdoria be feeling the match they had during the week, which they played extra time and then penalties to get through.
Yeah, I mean, just very briefly, do you not think the fact that Sam had that victory and the fact that they can't afford another loss might give them the extra effort this afternoon?
Well, you never know at Sampdoria. That's the beauty of them. They're probably the best team in the league to watch for entertainment, and you just never know, especially with Hullet and Mancini playing.
Okay, well, we'll see which Sampdoria we're going to see in a couple of minutes when we see Sampdoria take on Milan live here on Channel 4. That coming up after the break, so sit tight. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Football Italia. Here we are at the Marassi Stadium for Samp Milan. We're just enjoying the view there. The Samp fans in good voice today, despite a disappointing season in many cases so far. Why is that, do you think?
Well, they've been a little bit inconsistent, but they'll be in good voice because they had a tremendous result on Thursday in the European Cup Winners' Cup. They've been a little bit inconsistent with their performances. I feel the squad lacks a couple of players, especially in the middle of the park, a playmaker. And when they have a couple of injuries, they struggle, and I think that's been their problem all season.
Okay. Well, a lot depending on Hullet, of course, today, a lot depending on Mancini as well for Sampdoria. Let's see how they got on now with our commentators, Peter Brackley and Luther Blissett.
Thank you, James. Yes, the Italian flag is still waving proudly in European competition, and in conflict today then are 2 teams who can justifiably claim to have come through the most stringent of examinations with flying colours. Sampdoria's success in overcoming Porto was a reward for a most committed and courageous display. It really was an outstanding performance from an understrength team. And of course Milan, with their sights set firmly now on a 4th European title in 7 seasons, had to survive a most intimidating test of their resolve in the awesome Stadium of Light in Lisbon. Well, the personnel has changed a fair amount in recent weeks, but Sampdoria's shape and formation stays much the same. 3 zonal defenders, that's Manini, Serena, and back from injury Vierkabod this afternoon. Ahead of them a packed midfield, including David Platt and the effervescent Lombardo. And up front, Mancini supporting Ruud Hullet, who didn't feature in midweek, as he of course was cup-tied from having played for Milan in the Champions Cup. Well, his old teammates will be anxious to subdue him on his latest return to the San Siro, or rather against Sampdoria in the Luigi Ferrari Stadium today. Will Baresi, he's out injured, so Costa Curta and Galli form the central defensive partnership. And in midfield, Albertini returns after missing the Benfica game through suspension. Simone and Savicevic provide a potent force up front. Simone with 10 goals in Serie A this term, including recently 3 against Brescia. Well, it's hard to see either team catching Juventus now at the top, but they have UEFA Cup places, of course, to pursue in case success in Europe this season does elude them. Ruud Gullit, all eyes on him then this afternoon. As Liam Brady was saying, he did leave in somewhat acrimonious circumstances earlier in the season to return to Sampdoria. All kind of rumours that he'd fallen out with the Milan players. Let's get Luther Blissett's views on that. Luther alongside me today, a former Milan player, of course. That's a nice thing to have on your CV. And I think a few memories revive for you, Luther.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, always look forward to playing for Milan, especially when the games are on and that. So, you know, sunny day there, and I'm sure the players have really been looking forward to this one.
Milan then to kick off. Attacking the goal to our right. Wearing 7 there is Stropper, who's been preferred in the starting lineup to Massaro. Bonucci with Galli. I gather Galli would have played today instead of Costacurta had Baresi not been injured. Costacurta, who was dropped for the Champions Cup game in midweek for the first time since gaining a regular place in the team a few seasons back. Manini. Up goes Desai. Laid back then by Albertini, who was suspended then in midweek. I don't think there was any hesitation, though, from Capello, the coach, to bring him back. He's such a key man in the midfield area for Milan. Galli. Made forward then by Panucci, who, along with several players on the field, will be wondering if he's going to be in Arrigo Sacchi's next Italian squad, which is due to be named on Monday. We've got 2 European Championship qualifiers coming up against Estonia and then Ukraine. Albertini looking fresh, but dispossessed then by Lombardo. Mancini is with him. Lombardo streaking through, but the final distribution was poor then from Mancini. But he did look back to something like his best against Porto in the week, Mancini, having had, by his standards, a rather disappointing season so far. Ivani, former Milan player, of course, 16 years at the San Siro before switching to Sampdoria. Looking for the run there of Gullit. So strong and powerful, Gullit. Holding off Galli. Ivani's cross, a deep 1-2, almost linking up with Lombardo. The shot fired through, I think, from Serena, but well wide of goal. Flag up for offside. Well, what about the strikers on view then today, Luther? You, of course, from your time in Milan, seen these players down the years.
At the moment, it's plain to see already that Milan's tactics early on are to put a lot of pressure on the Sampdoria back 5 already, just to put them on a bit of pressure, because they've obviously had a very difficult game midweek, and you see them already press them. Every time they get the ball, they're always closing them down very quickly and hurrying them to play the ball away, you know. So that's obviously their tactics early on, to put them on a bit of pressure and up. They make a few mistakes.
Free kick given to Sampdoria, which Mihailovic will take. Lombardo almost on the end of it, policed there by Maldini. Lombardo had a front-runner's role against Porto and did so to great effect too. He really ran his socks off, as the saying goes. Now Panucci. Lombardo. Salsano, who's kept his place in the starting lineup, getting a little run in the team now. Mancini's pass to Gullit. Wide of him is Salsano. Gullit's continued his run through the middle. Mancini in there as well. And it, very nearly fell for him. Desai, and that was a late tackle there by Mihailovic.
Very fortunate there, Milan there on that one. I mean, the defenders, none of them took the initiative to clear that ball as it came in, and very, very lucky not to concede there.
They've won their last 3 matches now in Serie A, Milan, after that setback 4-0 against Lazio, which we featured a few weeks ago. Devastating display by Lazio on that occasion. But Milan have regrouped since then. They've got their act together once more. Did a fine containing job on Benfica in the week. Indeed, might have won the second leg. Galli first to that one. Here's Platt, who had been doubtful today with a knee injury. Platt, of course, sent off for the first time in his career. Deep into extra time for the game in Porto. Salsano with Lombardo. Here's Hullet. Now Mancini. A promising start this by Sampdoria. Serena's long pass through. Lombardo firing it all right across the goal. Very, very close in. And he's been in scintillating form this season, Lombardo.
Again, got away from his marker there, didn't he? I mean, come short and then spun round behind and the ball over the top and he was in. Very unfortunate there not to have actually finished that himself or somebody knocking that in at the back post.
Lombardo with 6 goals in Serie A this season. There's Vierkavon, back from injury, also suspension. He didn't play in Europe in the week. Now here's Savicevic, being involved with the referee this afternoon, who is Roberto Bettin from Padova. Manini's attempted clearance, it wasn't a good one, straight to Boban. Danger for Sampdoria here. Stropper making the run. Good defending by Mihailovic. Now David Platt. Mancini. Trying to shake off Boban, and the free kick's been given. Mancini, the most prolific player in Sampdoria's history in terms of goal scoring. Although by his standards, as I was suggesting earlier on, he's had a leaner time this season, just 5 so far in Serie A. Salsano. Dassai with a foot in, then Stropper, Albertini. The names roll off the tongue, so much talent in this Milan team. The likes of Lentini and Massaro on the bench, so there's plenty in reserve. Plenty of options for Fabio Capello if things aren't going too well. Savicevic away from Manini. Terrific strike too. Beaten down by Zenga. In goes Simone.
Superb there. Great bit of work again there, closing down, causing him to slap back pass there, which he got onto, and very close to finishing that one.
Well, no product this time from Simone. Savicevic with that thunderous shot. Really has taken the headlines this season, Savicevic. First couple of terms, he didn't play too often. He's had injury worries again this season, which has prevented him from playing as often as he would have liked. But when he has played, he's been absolutely devastating. 6 goals in 12 appearances from Savicevic this season. 4 of them, of course, in one game against Bari. This is Manini with the free kick for Sampdoria. Now Serena, who has a right-sided role in the Sampdoria defence today, having switched more to the centre during the European tie. That when Rossi had to go off injured. I think they'll miss Rossi today, he's been playing well.
Well, immediately also, I mean, the first couple of chances have come Milan's way through right the centre of the Sampdoria defence, so obviously him not being there has caused him a few problems early on.
Here's Panucci, and that took a nick, I would have thought, then off Vierkavon, without claiming the corner, and indeed it's been given. Also, Riccardo Ferri, of course, absent from the Sampdoria defence because of injury, so they've had a lot of reshuffling to do. This is Savicevic with the corner. Milan lying 3rd in Serie A before today's matches. Sampdoria down in 6th place. There'll be another corner. Juventus today, the leaders are home to Cremonese. Lazio are also at home, they take on Genoa. And Parma have a local derby to contend with away to Reggiana. Two clubs some 20 or 30 miles apart. So although Reggiana are struggling in Serie A, it won't be an easy game for Parma today. Not with local rivalry at stake. Here's Savicevic again. Even Lombardo back there defending. Chipped in by Albertini. Lombardo away. Only as far as Galli. Costa Curta. Sampdoria 4 points behind Milan. 6 defeats so far this season. Milan have lost on 4 occasions in Serie A. Sampdoria, remember, the last team to win the Scudetto before Milan's dominance of the top flight in Italy. Boban combining with Simone, who's been in brilliant form. Boban again. An enterprising opening phase to the game. Panucci finding Stroppa. Now Simone, confronted by Ivani. Savicevic on Simone. Great chance. Simone scores. They simply couldn't contain him. And Simone's rich vein of goal-scoring form continues.
That's right. I mean, they have not looked comfortable at all in the centre of that defence, and he exploited that there. I mean, at one time you thought he had lost the ball, but good strength over the ball, won it back. A little 1-2, and a great finish. Just takes it on now, draws the goalkeeper out, round the goalkeeper, and even then, I mean, to keep hold of it there, to put it in the net, a great determination.
Well, that's 5 goals in what, 3 games now for Simone. He got a hat-trick against Brescia. Superb vision to release him from Savicevic. And it was Simone's goals, of course, that helped Milan through to the semi-finals of the European Cup as well. His 2 goals in the home leg against Benfica. So very much a man in form, and I wonder, can Arrigo Sacchi ignore him when he comes to name his next squad? Bit hard to predict who he's going to pick, Luther.
Very difficult. I mean, he's got a rich vein of players to choose from. So all they can really do is hope. I mean, that's all we ever did from an England team, was hoping that you'd be in the team when it was picked.
Desailly, who does the holding job in midfield, does so very solidly too. Costa Curta. This is Boban. Glorious piece of skill too. Pat working hard to close Milan down. 1 or 2 scares early on for Milan, but they've come back in excellent fashion. Here's Savicevic now, again looking to threaten, but this time he's got his angles all wrong.
Milan forwards are causing them all sorts of problems at the moment with their movement and their interchanging of passing, and they find it very, very difficult to track them.
Milan seeking their 4th away win in Serie A this afternoon, having had successes at Foggia, Bari and Brescia. This is Mancini for Sampdoria. Now Lombardo. Costa Curta covering the run of Mancini. Rossi, who's had 8 clean sheets in Serie A this season, but not today. Will he be adding to that tally? I wonder. Play by Manini. Panucci. Salzano. Boban playing mainly wide on the left, which doesn't satisfy him. Indeed, he's told Capello he wants to leave if they don't give him more central position. on by Albertini. Free kick to Sampdoria. Savicevic. Bundled from behind there by Platz, who pleads his innocence. Maldini. They've lost possession now. Lombardo. And clearly impeded by Savicevic. He's got so much pace, isn't he?
Definitely yellow card for that one. I mean, there's a great little run. They took it and he knew exactly what he was going to do with it. Straight to the heart of defence. He was on his way. And he had to bring him down. But Milan have looked the more confident, the more dominant team up to now. They've been more convincing in everything they've done.
Ivani. This is Mihailovic. Chipped through by the Serb in search of Ivani. Panucci is there with him. He's given it straight though to Mihailovic. Another dangerous ball whipped in. Stroppa, Milan playing themselves out of difficulties, but not for long. Vierkovon snapping into the tackle. Mihailovic. Vierkovon here. Away from Costa Curta. Oh, Mancini, what a miss! Oh, that's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you'd have put your house on that one. From the roll that one in there. It looked far easier from the roll it in the net than put it where he did.
That's great determination shown by Vierkovon. Who needs to run through and well.
There's only one place I was looking at, it was in the back of the net. I mean, that's something you'll see all through the game, especially if they don't get a goal back.
Well, that was an astonishing error by Mancini of all people. Great opportunity squandered by Sampdoria. Now little Salcedo. Serena. Good block by Desai. It's Stroppa. Starting his fourth match in Serie A in a row now, Stroppa, and he's got a couple of goals during this little spell. Salcedo. Looking to send Hullet away. Panucci. Platt with a header on. Lombardo. Now Boban. Wide of him is Maldini. Of course, was sent off when we featured that game against Lazio, the first time in his career. Boban. Now Panucci. Asking a lot there of Desai. News that Reggiana have taken the lead against Parma. Esposito has scored the first goal there. So Parma have to come from behind this afternoon to maintain their challenge on Juventus up at the top of Serie A. Juve starting 4 points clear. And you would expect them to win today at home to Cremonese. Albertini. Good run by Stroppa. Manini just got back in time. Savicevic. Now Stroppa. That's Vierkovon with the header out, finding Ivani. Plenty of movement and fluency from the two teams so far. Milan with the upper hand, thanks to Simone's goal.
And there again, the work of the forwards again, closing down the Sampdoria defence, stopping them getting the ball out.
Desai. Lead back by Stroppa to Albertini. Foul then by Manini, who then made sure Stroppa made no progress. Yellow card for Manini, who's just returned from a European suspension. Or just completed it anyway. Having a hack there at Stroppa. Second caution of the game so far, to follow the early one for Savicevic of Milan. Galley with the free kick. Boban. Down goes Simone, and that's a foul by Serena, who was sticking very closely to him.
Sampdoria now seem to be lacking somebody, as Liam was saying, to really influence the midfield. They really need to now get hold of the game again, get hold of the ball and start to put a few passes together and try to get Milan backpedaling a little bit.
Simone. Confronted by Salsano, and also Platt as well. Works really hard, Salsano. His third spell this with Sampdoria, a very experienced player, into his 30s now. Boban with Maldini. Another free kick to Milan, another foul on Simone, who's proving a real handful up front for Milan. Certainly one of the sharpest finishers in the Italian game, Simone. Sampdoria on the back foot again. Boban to Albertini. Now Desai. They can't clear it. Zenga with the save.
Picking up all the second balls. It could be in an awful lot of trouble if they don't get this sorted out pretty early on, I think.
Good strike by Simone, who's playing with so much confidence at the moment. Sudden break by Sampdoria, which comes to nothing. Off goes Boban again. Taking on Platt. Simone. On then by Boban, looking to release Stropper, and the flag's up for offside.
Don't think there's very much in that one. Just mistimed his run, just a shade there.
Salsano finding support from David Platt. Serena. Now Hullet. Down towards Salsano. Pass through ball. It's an excellent one too. Hullet. Mancini in the middle. Doesn't reach in though. Galley with a header away. Salsano. Here's Serena. Mancini in the middle again. Lombardo making his presence felt. Panucci forced into conceding in the corner.
Another good break by Sampdoria again, but it amazed me Hullet didn't put the ball in first time. I mean, as a forward, you'd expect that to come straight in so you can attack it.
Mihailovic with the corner. That was Platt who came hearing it at the far post. Got 21 goals in the last 10 league games, Sampdoria, so they have been pretty sharp in front of goal. Not so far this afternoon. It's Platt with a header. Not sharp enough anyway. But once again, he's in a dangerous position, Platt. Mancini rolled on to Salsano. Mihailovic, all Salsano deceiving Albertini, who crudely held him back. There'll be another yellow card. Sorcery of Salsano was too much for him there. Albertini, remember, suspended from the European game in the week. So he's had his disciplinary problems during this campaign for all his endeavour and outstanding displays. Now maybe a chance for Mihailovic here. Famed for his long-range shooting.
Superb, wasn't it? Great ball round the back, and Hullet does what he does best, coming round the back and a great header back.
Coburn really climbed to such height then, Hullet. Here he is again now. Out by Galli to stab it away. Albertini. Savicevic. Super close control.
There was great confidence shown there with the turn. I mean, on the touch on the turn was superb there. Off his knee, turned his man and set off straight towards the goal.
Vanucci. Now Desai. Mancini just got a foot to that one. Boban does sweep it forward again, but only as far as Manini. Now Platt, who of course will miss both the European Cup Winners' Cup semi-final ties against Arsenal after that sending off. Mihailovic spotting the run there of Lombardo, who just about kept his balance. 25 minutes gone. Hullet curling over the cross. There's Platt then shaping up for a spectacular shot at goal. Good spell this for Sampdoria.
Great interception.
But Milan also showing what they can do on the break. Mihailovic, that's off Albertini. Sampdoria have lost just once at home in Serie A this season, and that to the leaders Juventus. Here's Evani. Will be so anxious to do well against his former club this afternoon. He hasn't actually been a regular in the side of late for Sampdoria. Fair bit of competition for midfield places. Mihailovic. Now Salcedo, little deft touch on Evani. And coolly back by Maldini.
Maldini's a class player. I mean, Maldini would have only been a kid when I was at Milan, and he's come through and showed great ability over the years.
Who else was there during your time? Baresi, of course.
Baresi, that's right. I mean, we've got Ivani, who's playing on the Sampdoria team today. Tassotti, who's on the bench for Milan today, and also the goalkeeper on the bench for Sampdoria as well, Nucciari.
Here's Salcedo, deterring that Parma have now equalised away to Reggiana, so 1-1 the score there. Fernando Couto, the Portuguese international. Good interception then by Vierkevot. The entire first-choice defence was missing from the European game in midweek for Sampdoria, which is a measure of how well they did really to survive. Today they have Vierkevot and Manini back. Here is Vierkevot, the old warhorse. 36 in a couple of weeks' time. Boban. Savicevic. This is Albertini. Brushed out of his stride, though. Evani to Mancini. Chested down by Panucci, and it was the chest. Savicevic. Superb balance.
Playing with great confidence, as you said earlier. I mean, he's got the confidence to get the ball down and do whatever he pleases. He's in total command.
Pass wasn't so clever, mate. Here's Mancini. Oh, coolly into the path of Salcedo. Maldini. Boban with Maldini. Now Desai. Albertini. Good little interchange of passes then. Savicevic, he's handled that. At least the referee thought he did. Serena. Lombardo. Mancini. Another dangerous ball in. Hullet with a header. Not quite enough power on it, but a brave header from Hullet.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be really trying very hard to get a goal today. But at the moment, he's been caught many times so far out that wide. That's really the first opportunity he's had in the box. And all he could do is a little glancing header.
Nothing wrong with his instincts then. Lombardo. Hullet with 10 goals in Serie A this season, 3 of them for Milan. Before his switch to Genoa. Simone with Boban. Big police presence in the stadium today, incidentally, in Genoa, after the incident of a few weeks ago when the fan was stabbed, of course. Genoa against Milan. And there aren't too many Milan fans here today. They've chosen not to come. Mancini. It's a foul by Stropper.
Shows the strength of the Milan domination, really. Now Mancini's pushed himself right back in the midfield and he's trying to orchestrate things from back there now.
This is Manini. Costa Curta with a header away. Maldini, now Boban. Chip through by Maldini. But no one in a Milan shirt after that one. Let's get the early views of Liam Brady. Liam, what have you made of it so far?
Well, Peter, it's a fascinating game. I think Milan took advantage of a little bit of hesitancy in the Sampdoria defence, and they've gone ahead, but there's very little in the game. I just feel that the Sampdoria players, especially in the middle of the park, are taking the wrong options, making the wrong decisions. And if they can get the ball to Mancini and to Hullet, I think they can score goals.
Thanks, Liam. Salsano threaded on for Hullet. He took a bit of a buffeting then from Maldini, his old teammate. I don't think the referee's taken any further action, though. And that's easy enough for Rossi. I was a bit previous in suggesting he might not keep a clean sheet today, but Sampdoria have had the chances so far. But they're up against a man who himself has been in excellent form this season, Rossi, and hopes to be the number 2 in the next Italian squad, named by Sacchi, behind Pagliuca of Inter. Inter, I gather, a goal up at home to Foggia this afternoon. Wim Jonker scored, the Dutch international. Manini. Here's Galli. Now Desai. Salsano to Lombardo. Boban. Panucci, who was sent off by this referee today against Cremonese earlier in the season. Bjerkevod. His enthusiasm for the game remains unabated. Bjerkevod trains as hard as players half his age. Hullet now, looking to threaten again. Here's Mancini. Couldn't quite get the touch on. Evani. Mancini again. Salsano. Helped out by Mihailovic. Manini. Simone there working hard to close him down, and he's forced him into an error. We made the point before, Luther, how hard Milan work is. For all their skill, they're still prepared to put themselves about.
That's right, they have done that ever since Neil Zidholm was the manager. Obviously they've done it all the time, and that's something been in their play all the time. And they do work very, very hard to close down, to stop the opposition from really getting good possession and making inroads into their defence.
Well, now there's a caution for David Platt. So
it's not been a very good week for David.
I was going to say, I'm sure he's delighted at getting through to European Cupbearers Cup semi-final, but he'll play no part in that, and now a booking to follow. And it wasn't the best of tackles from him in the week, was it?
No, it looked pretty awful. I think he just got carried away with all the other players in the occasion, and the way they obviously worked very, very hard throughout the game to get the result they got. And it's just one of those things, you know, the brain just doesn't sometimes make contact with the rest of you.
Spoken like a true professional. Here's Savicevic. You're still playing, Luther, too, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I'm playing in non-league over in Norfolk in the Jerusalem Premier. Knocking in 1 or 2 goals here and there.
1 or 2, 28.
Yeah, well, try not to go on about it.
Good for you. He's written down here, please ask me about my goals. Not really. I give Wilkins stick on this programme, so you'll be no exception.
Well, I expect that.
It's foul then on Bjerkevot.
That makes a change. He's normally the one committing the fouls, I think.
He normally dishes it out.
That's right.
He'd have been around in your time.
He was, yeah, very hard defender, and as I say, very, very fit. I mean, he marked me, and I think I still got a few bruises from even then.
Mihailovic with the free kick then for Sampdoria. Getting some distance on that one. There's Boban, though. Ten minutes of the first half to go. Serena with the back pass to Walter Zenga. Serena, Mr. Utility in the Sampdoria team. Why do they always do that when I talk about them?
Players just lose a bit of concentration sometimes. And I think that was a prime example.
This is Boban. Now, Desai. The angled pass from Savicevic. Wasn't a good one, though. Now Lombardo underneath this one with Galli, who looked to be holding him off. Galli's had a long fight on to establish himself as a first choice, finally doing so with Costa Curta left out for the last game. There's Sereno with a chip. Bullet lurking in the middle. But tall though he is, Rossi able to claim that one comfortably
easy
enough.
though. Anything hung up in the air like that, goalkeepers are always favourite to win. They've got to come with a lot more pace to give the forwards the initiative so they can get on the end of it and put the ball in the back of the net.
Unless Alan Shearer's descending on him. My word, he's in form, isn't he?
Oh, superb. Another fine goal again yesterday.
Now Mihailovic. Looking to release Ivani. Across comes Desai. Filippo Galli to Albertini. Stropper with Bjerkevot in close attendance, to put it mildly. Lombardo, another good run by him, looking to expose Galli.
They're trying everything they can to use the strength and the power of his running at the moment to play balls over the top. And at the moment, to be fair, he looks the only one that will really cause Milan any problems.
Yes, they had that little spell earlier on, Sampdoria, when certainly Mancini should have scored. That was nearly embarrassing for Galli then. Costa Curta, was it over the line? Well, the referee said no. Then there was a chip from Mancini and the free kick given, which Rossi is taking from the wrong place.
And officials, as usual, we want it exactly from the right place.
All right, he says, I'm not taking it then.
Probably get booked for this.
What was all that about? Oh, it's a yellow card now, time wasting for Rossi. All rather predictable.
How many bookings is that? Is that 5?
It's quite a bit. I think that, yes, it is now, yeah.
And it's not been that sort of a game.
No, there's been no real malice at all. Ivani taking the throw quickly to Salsano's bundled over by Desai.
A bit enthusiastic, I think, there.
It's like confronting a brick wall when Desai comes at you.
He does a great holding job there for Milan, and he picks up all the loose balls, breaks up the attacks. Does a very, very good job in there.
Went through a bit of a bad patch, Desai. But certainly back to form in recent games. Serena. It spins away. Simone.
Again, an example there of the closing down, not giving the opportunity to play balls comfortably out of defence.
Platt. Hoisted forward by Manini. Lombardo in pursuit. But some composed defending by Costa Curta. Maldini swapping passes with Boban. Another player who looks very comfortable in possession, Boban. And that certainly applies to so many of the players out there on view. But now Boban is the culprit. Right on cue. Good player though, this fellow. Really has established himself in Serie A. Bit clumsy that on Salsano. Mancini.
He's done that little bit of skill a couple of times now. A little drag back and a little flick through the legs. Just possess some phenomenal ability.
Third in the European Football of the Year stakes, and of course voted World Player of the Year by leading football magazine, Paolo Maldini. The man, they say, who has it all really. Not too many weaknesses to his game. Recently celebrated the 10th anniversary of his debut for Milan, which seems amazing. He's only, what, 26. Salsano. Ivani. Salsano again. He's seen plenty of the ball in the first half. He's full of tricks. Four minutes of the first half remaining. Stroppa away from Platt. Now Albertini. This is Panucci. Stroppa's made a run into the centre. Desai. On by Panucci to Stroppa, and he's caught offside.
Good movement, as you said there. Took his defender one way, then checked back into the open space, but the ball didn't come at that time. Made another run, but obviously mistimed it and was caught offside. But they're working very, very hard indeed, the front forwards, to make space as well as to prevent the opposition getting in.
That was Hullet who knocked it on. Lombardo very nearly made something of it too. It'll be a corner. Another well-timed leap by Hullet. And Lombardo was onto it like a shot. Hullet's cross now. That's Albertini with the header. A free one then for Costa Curta. Boban. But only as far as Serena. Hullet. No question about Hullet's appetite for this game today. Mancini, Lombardo, touchback, Serena. Not that way.
Been disappointed in a lot of the shooting from long range today, because normally in Italian football the shooting's very, very good. They normally hit the target 9 out of 10. But they've been putting them over the bar today. Been disappointed with that one.
Serena, who hasn't scored this season, or indeed for a couple of years now. I suppose you can see why. Certainly nothing to trouble Rossi then. Ivani, off goes Mancini. Lombardo with David Platt. Serena. Salsano losing out. And off come Milan on the break now. Led by Marco Simone. Desai. Just prodded on then for Albertini. Quite happy for him to take up the reins. Panucci. Stroppa's pulled into the middle. Vukovic with a header out. But picked up here by Albertini again. Deeper one this time. Stroppa knocked down. Boban. It's a good chance, well fashioned then.
I'll be disappointed with that. They're expecting that one to at least give the keeper a problem to save it. A good little build-up again from Milan, patient, put the ball in back post, headed down, and he'll be, as I said, very disappointed not to hit the target at least with that.
Yes, it was a rather sloppy finish then by Boban. Glorious header down though by Stroppa in such unselfish fashion. Salsano and Hullet. tackle was by Maldini, perfectly timed. We're now into the final minutes of what's been certainly an absorbing first half. Milan with the 1 goal so far, scored by Marco Simoni after 11 minutes. Boban, just drifting past the tackle of Ivani. Plenty of options ahead of him. It's not a bad ball either. Albertini now. And it was David Platt back defending. Did well then, David.
Tracked him very well. It's one thing David's very good at. I mean, he'll track his players running back, but also he's great at getting forward also. And they really needed him that time, so I think that would have been 2-0.
Albertini, who hasn't scored since he got one against Sampdoria in the corresponding fixture of last season. Desai in there now. Simone with the corner. Almost went in. Desai. Zenga just got his foot to it. Oh, it escaped then by Sampdoria. Away comes Mihailovic.
Incredible. I think all the forwards were caught on their heels there. That's why nobody was there to prod the ball in the back of the net.
Mancini, we're down to stoppage time. Came down off Mihailovic initially, I think. There's Desai. And thwarted by Zenga's reactions. Offside against Ruud Gullit. Looking daggers at the linesman.
We all do that as forwards. Anytime the flag goes up and they say you're offside, you always have a look because you think there's no way I could have been.
Well, a bit hard to see from that angle whether he had a case or not. Bonucci, good run by Savicevic. Excellent covering though by Vierkovod, though he has conceded a corner.
Caused them lots of problems at balls into the box so far, so I shouldn't think there'd be a lot of difference with this one.
Up top by Albertini, and it was Platt who cleared. Simone, all linking well with Boban. Boban almost obstructed then by Serena. There's no way past.
A lovely little reverse pass to him there. Created the space for him and then cut the ball back inside, and as you say, was good defending in the end.
Ivani, deep into time, added on for stoppages. Manini forward again. Fine interception there by Maldini. And there is the half-time whistle, blown by referee Roberto Bettin. So Milan have the upper hand thanks to the early goal from Simone. Sampdoria have certainly had opportunities, the best of them falling to their captain Roberto Mancini. And it was squandered by him to leave Sampdoria trailing at the break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes from now.
Welcome back everyone to Football Italia. We're here at the Marassi Stadium where we've been watching the first half of Sampdoria Milan, or we have anyway. Hope you have had too. It's half-time of course at the moment, so time for us to have a look through the half-time scores naturally enough, and they are as follows. Bari are drawing 1-1 apiece with Napoli at the moment. Tovaglieri scoring first for Bari, his 14th of the season. Carboni answering for Napoli. Brescia have pulled 1 goal back against Torino. Torino went 3-0 up at one point with Pele, Rizzitelli and Silenzi. Neri getting the goal back for Brescia, but they're still in a bit of a fix. Cagliari losing 1-0 at home to Roma. Roma with a Balbo penalty. Inter 2-0 up at home to Foggia. Jonk and Berti the scorers there. Juventus, interestingly enough, are drawing 0-0 at home with Cremonese. Cremonese hit the post apparently on the stroke of half-time there. Lazio 3-0 up over Genoa at home. Bacci with his first ever Serie A goal. Shamot Fuser rather. Reggiana trailing 2-1 at home to Parma. Esposito for Reggiana, then Fernando Couto and Lorenzo Minotti for Parma. And Sampdoria losing 1-0 at home to Milan with that Marco Simoni goal that we saw earlier, his 5th in 3 Serie A games. Obviously that leaves 1 game still to be played today, and that is Padova-Fiorentina, that battle of the newly promoted teams. And very entertaining that looks set to be, particularly that duel between Alexi Lalas and Gabriel Batistuta. I shall be looking forward to seeing what happens in that. And you can find out the results in Tuesday night's Mezzanotte programme right here on Channel 4, so look out for that. Anyway, half-time still at the moment, as you can see behind me. So in the meantime, let's have a look at the best of last Sunday's goal. So.
Week 23 of the season was a good one for the dead ball specialists. Down in Bari, Inter's Francesco Delano secured an important 3 points with a clinical free kick. In Rome, Daniel Fonseca saved a point with an equally impressive effort. And in Turin, Roberto Baggio confirmed his return with the second goal in Juve's win over Foggia. Although keeper Francesco Mancini did make it easy for the divine ponytail. In Naples, Gigi Casaraghi made it his best ever season in Serie A with another 2 goals for Lazio, his 10th and 11th goals of the season. However, Lazio threw away their 2-goal lead, and in the closing minutes of the game, Renato Busso's smart finish pinched the points for the home side. Our choice of goal of the week, though, comes from another dramatic match. Parma, like Lazio, surrendered a 2-goal lead last Sunday. However, the title contenders came back to win. Given the quality of Gianfranco Zola's flick and Faustino Aspriglia's finish, they deserved to. Will we get another dramatic second half this week? Join us after the break to find out as we bring you the conclusion of Sampdoria versus Milan live.
Welcome back, everybody, to Football Italia, coming to you from Genoa, where we've been watching Sampdoria against Milan. 1-0 the score for Milan at half-time. Now, Liam, your thoughts on this match so far? You haven't been very impressed with Sampdoria. They've got players like Hullet, like Mancini, but maybe they haven't been featuring enough in the game so far for Sam.
Well, to be fair to Mancini and to Hullet and to Lombardo for a certain extent, they haven't really been brought into the game enough by the play from behind them, especially from the midfield. Sampdoria giving the ball away a lot in the middle of the park. And really the same can be said of Savesovic and the Milan team. You know, he looks on form if they could only get him the ball a bit more often. Right. Milan have this slow, methodical way of playing, but they're very, very dangerous, because if you lose concentration against them, like Sampdoria did for the goal, they can go ahead and then it's very difficult to retrieve the game. All
right, well, very briefly, I mean, working with the players that you have on the bench as a Sampdoria coach, we've seen them come back last week against Parma when they were 2 goals down. What would you do to try and bring them back against Milan?
Well, I don't think there's really anything on the bench to change things around. I think they need to get the ball into Mancini and Hullet and maybe Lombardo out on the wing and have a go from there. But it's up to the Sampdoria midfield to turn this game around.
Okay. Well, as I say, they had a good comeback last week. It didn't actually get them any points at the end of the day, but the spirit was certainly there. Let's see what they can come up with in the second half now, as we hand back to our commentators, Peter and Luther.
Thank you, James. Yes, they came back well last week, and of course last season as well, to win by 3 goals to 2 in a very exciting game after Milan had taken a 2-0 lead. Mancini, one of the scorers, and it was Ruud Gullit who got the winner. Sven-Goran Eriksson, the coach of Sampdoria, hoping his team can come up with a repeat performance this afternoon, as Sampdoria about to set the second half underway. Milan's control was impressive in the first half, their movement and the finishing of Simone, dividing the 2 teams thus far. David Platt. This is Vyakovod, who laid on that excellent chance that was wasted by Roberto Mancini. Desailly looking aggrieved for pushing into the back of Ruud Gullit.
Bit of experience, I think.
Bit of know-how there,
definitely.
Serena. Here's Salcedo. Galli with the clearance. This is Aranio, who's come on at the start of the second half. Lombardo. Stropper has been replaced at half-time. So Aranio will slot him down that right side. Not sure if that's tactical or injury.
I think he was playing well enough. I'd have thought must have got a knock, which we I didn't quite notice.
Serranio trying to supply the through pass, but failing to do so. And away comes Ivani for Sampdoria. Bullet. Too long though for Lombardo or Mancini. Serranio, of course, an Italian international, as indeed Stropper is. Serranio's had several months out, 9 months in all, because of a long-term injury. Recently returned. And he's got to fight for his place now. I wonder later on if we'll see Lentini for Milan. He's back in favour now, it would seem, and did really well in the game last week against Padova. But back on the bench this afternoon. Mancini to Salcedo. Lombardo ahead of him. Savicevic. Boban, I think, is going to take up a more central role in the second half, which will certainly please him. This is Serranio now, former Genoa player. Bonucci, another one. Now Savicevic. Enticing ball, but too long. Manini with Salcedo. By Serena, and straight to Galli, who's captaining Milan today. Maybe rather surprising to people, but he's the longest serving player in the team, and that's how they do things in Italy, although he hasn't featured all that often in the senior side of late. How long Ivani by Serranio. For support for Sampdoria in the stadium. Mihajlovic will take the free kick. Well, it was some pace, but nothing really to unsettle this man, Sebastiano Rossi.
As usual, though, they all have a go at their defenders, though, the goalkeepers, don't they? Anything that comes through from a long way.
There's certainly some distance out then, Mihajlovic. Scored against Milan, I think, in the Super Cup early on in the campaign with one of those venomous free kicks of his. Serranio, neatly played. Couldn't release Boban though. Ivani now then to David Platt. Ivani, surrounded by Milan players. Now the whistle's gone for a free kick. Offence on Hullet.
Yeah, they've done it well all the game, haven't they, Milan? Stopping the attacks before they really develop and cause them any real problems.
It's Costa Curta with a foot in. Hullet's the painful recipient. Now Salcedo hovering around the ball along with Mancini and Mihajlovic, who will probably fancy another crack from here.
Very big wall. 5 in a wall and a charger.
Laid off to Mihajlovic. Zenga couldn't hold on. Rather Rossi, I should say. Ball by Salcedo. Getting the keeper's medal up. Here's Lombardo. Corner to Sampdoria. Lombardo will leave for Mancini to take. Another stinging drive from Mihajlovic, which squirmed away from Rossi.
Thought maybe he should have pushed it away, wide of the goal, rather than just knock it back into play the way he did. Maybe didn't see it till late.
Platt lurking in the middle.
And that's a shame, because as the attacking team, as your forwards, I mean, you want that ball to get into the danger area, and for them to put it in the side netting really is a bit of a crime.
There's a shot again. Just squeezed away from the grasp of Rossi, and fortunately for him, not into the path of Sampdoria players.
That's right, Lombardo was right on top of that one.
Mancini. Lombardo, maybe taken by surprise. Given away then by Maldini to Salcedo. Serena. Back on to Serena. Savicevic. Fabulous turn. Now has he got the pace here to get away from Biakovo? Oof. Manini came across. It's a dreadful challenge. Manini has already been cautioned and he's got to go.
Yeah.
Sent off for the second week running. Dismissed against Palmer, and well, no argument there. He had to go.
Oh, it was very, very blatant, wasn't it? Just went to took the man out.
Don't know whether Savicevic would have reached the ball anyway.
I'm not sure he would have reached it.
Well, no, maybe not, but doesn't excuse the offence.
No, that's right. I mean, but he's very, very positive there when he turned and very positive there. Good run. So only one thing on his mind really was getting to the back of the defence and try and get a proper goal.
So Sampdoria down to 10 men again. Hullet looking pretty disgusted there. It's a great run by Savicevic. Here he is now, and he's curled it just wide. Little burst of pace that took him clear until the intervention. An illegal one from Manini. Ivani. Salcedo. This is Mancini. It's going to be hard for Sampdoria now. Mihailovic. The crowd doing their best to raise them. Slipped on to Lombardo. Bazai. Simone. I think they'll make a change at the back now, using a substitution, Sampdoria. Maybe bring on Sacchetti. Lombardo. More frustration for Ruud Gullit. Bonucci. Milan remaining in command, and no sign at this stage of their resistance being broken. Costa Curta to Albertini. Boban has Simone inside him, and also Albertini. Bonucci available as well. Here's Simone. Again covering a lot of ground. Iranio. Oh, and Boban unmarked at the far post. Well, rather like Mancini's in the first half. That's quite amazing.
That's incredible. That's two of the worst misses I've seen in a very long time.
Players of the highest technique too. Boban left unmarked at the far post. And well, not even hitting the target.
Milan using their extra man now to great effect there. Keeping the ball, making them having to work very hard to try and close them down, and then getting in on the back post.
I think even you'd have gone close with that one, Luther.
I think I've at least hit the post.
Mihailovic. An escape for Sampdoria. Maybe that'll prove an inspiration to them. Oh, Mancini! Don't think there was a flag there.
If there's no way, there was a flag there. But otherwise, that would have been two great chances would have fallen to him.
Well, he wasn't to know the flag was up anyway. You can't miss a flag behind the goal, but maybe that one the linesman was waving. No, I don't think he did give offside. So that's another miss by Mancini. Even the best aren't faultless. Salcedo, twisting and turning. He's great to watch, but you wonder sometimes if he does enough damage. Here's Gullit now. Mihailovic. Put it again. On this bright afternoon in Genoa, down goes Hullet. Another clumsy rather than malicious tackle by Boban.
Yeah, but it's premeditated, but there was no card for that one, was there? The inconsistency of, well, it seems it's not only in England that they get it.
I think Ivani is going to go off now to be replaced, I would presume, by Sacchetti, as they look to replace Manini at the back. Some reorganising for Sampdoria to do. It's always sad for the player who has to go off. Ivani, who's been sacrificed here. Getting a good round of applause too from the Sampdoria fans. So Sacchetti, who's been generally out of favour this season, coming on now. He did start in the week because of the injury problems, but only one start in Serie A so far this season, having been a regular really in the last campaign. He was the man, remember, who kept Des Walker out of the team when Walker was in Genoa. Now Mihajlovic lining this one up. Another fierce strike, but straight at the wall.
Talking about the walls, today the referee has really got the ball back 10 yards or longer. He really has got them a long way back, which is very unusual.
Clever work then by Mancini. Lombardo! Wonderful save by Rossi.
Superb save.
Look who was in there.
Platt was there.
Yeah, David Platt again.
I mean, they're the sort of things David Platt does brilliantly well. I mean, he follows in all the efforts at goal.
That's a great header, isn't it?
It was.
Had to really stoop to meet that one then, Lombardo. Platt's in there like a flash, and any mistake then by Rossi, and Platt surely would have scored. Well, by Costa Curta on Mancini. Lombardo, terrific pass.
What a good save again.
Well, that's a fantastic stop by the goalkeeper. Such vision shown by Mancini. Well, Lombardo can't believe that he's not taken full advantage.
I thought the moment he left his boot, he was in the back of the net there.
What a reaction save by Sebastiano Rossi. Reminding us again why he's one of the best in the business.
Stood up, didn't he? Didn't commit himself at all. Didn't make it easy for the forward in any way. Stood his ground and then reacted to the shot.
The weight on that ball from Mancini. But Lombardo should have scored for all the brilliance of Rossi. Now Ruud Gullit. Mihajlovic endeavouring to ride the tackle. Off goes Iranio, and the referee has pulled play back for the free kick. Boban the culprit again. Well, there's a new zest about Sampdoria now.
They do, yeah. I mean, a bit belief seemed to have come to them suddenly.
Gullit and Mihajlovic. Good closing down by Simone, who's been pretty much out of things in the second half with Sampdoria on the attack. But his goal still looks an important one. With an hour gone now. Desai. Savicevic outmaneuvered by Serena. Eriksson retakes his seat on the bench. And Milan have, for the moment anyway, a fairly rare excursion upfield. They've been back on the defensive mainly, certainly in the last few minutes.
I think Milan now are just going to take the sting out of the game now. Slowly get themselves back into it, slow it right down now. Just take a bit of momentum away from the Sampdoria team.
Albertini with the kick. Panucci. Out by Sacchetti, not too far though. There's Desai challenging. On then by Savicevic to Panucci. Savicevic. Bonucci, Savicevic again. Almost got through too. Little nudge then maybe on Vierkabon. But when he runs at defenders, he's so dangerous, Savicevic, always looking to commit them. A very hard man to contain. That's Galli leaning into Lombardo. Lombardo, who scored the final penalty in the shootout in the week. They succeeded with all their kicks in the shootout. Sampdoria. Zenga made a save as well to help steer them through. And they'll need to show the same kind of character if they're to turn this game around. By the law of averages, Mihailovic is going to get one of these free kicks through. He certainly bent it, and Rossi read it perfectly. We see the goalkeepers week in and week out, Luther. It's of a high standard now, the goalkeeping out there, and it's hard really to separate sort of 2 or 3 of them, really.
It is, right. I mean, their greatest attribute is their shot stopping, as Rossi demonstrated there when Lombardo was clean through. And I mean, their crossing at times their taking crosses at times can be a bit dubious, but shot stopping and one thing or other is absolutely superb.
Maldini's header. Now Platt. Desai, though, has it back for Milan. Iranio. Bonucci. Iranio has continued his run. But outwarded by Sacchetti. Mihailovic. A bit careless then. In goes Boban. Savicevic. Albertini. Just have these little periods of possession, Milan, trying, as Luther was saying, to take the sting out of Sampdoria's forays. Mancini. Away by Costa Curta. Sassano. He's not bad on the ball, is he?
Oh, he's great on the ball. So he's giving that one away, though.
Savicevic.
Every time you give one of them praise, they do something wrong the next moment, I think.
Amazing, isn't it? Iranio. This is Albertini. So much flows through him for Milan. So his 4th year as a senior, Albertini. Already he's achieved so much, of course, with their success at home and abroad. He certainly made his mark at the World Cup finals. One of the Italians who played in every game. Here he is now. Savicevic. Came off Platt then. On his back header. Safely gathered by Walter Zenga. Simone penalised. Mancini taking the kick quickly, a bit too quickly though for Lombardo, who was actually facing the other way. Almost at the halfway point in the second half. A bicycle kick from David Platt. Lombardo was on his way back. Linesman waving them on, with Rossi in possession. Here's another goal for Lazio. That's 4 now at home to Genoa. Di Vaio, their young striker, making life rather miserable this afternoon for Genoa. Here's Iranio now, trying to make progress. Well, that's curtailed by Mihailovic. Who felt he was the innocent party. Sorry, there's a barge though on Iranio. I can't see how he can protest about that being penalised.
I think it was the hanging on after he'd pushed him in the back. I think is what he's complaining of. All 2 defenders almost going for the same ball there.
Desai. In by Iranio. Desai. His strength enabled him to evade the challenge. Desai again. Now Savicevic. Too many defenders though for him. Albertini. On by Galli. Albertini is creating that bit of space for himself. Desai. Simone. More confident approach play, and then over the bar from Albertini.
And they're just keeping the ball, knocking it around, trying to draw them out. Finally the shot, as I say, disappointed with that one.
Still Juventus 0, Cremonese 0, but it's now Reggiana 2, Parma 2. Subotenkov has equalised for Reggiana. And also gather that Cremonese are down to 10 men in their match at Turin. De Agostini has been sent off. It's a foul on Hullet.
This is where Milan, I think, would need Baresi now to calm down and get them back together again.
Yeah, they've missed his influence, there's no doubt about that, when they have been extended. Maldini holding off Hullet, which is not easy to do.
A bit fortunate there with the elbow in the face, you know, it could have turned out to be a lot worse for him.
Well, here's Mancini now with the free kick. Vierkovod is up from the back. Pulled over towards him and Lombardo. Albertini to hook it clear. Savicevic feeding Simone on the break now. We've got 3-4 up in this attack. Savicevic couldn't get away though from Sacchetti. It's a Sampdoria free kick. Bit of chugging going on all round there.
I think the right result in the right.
I think so. Salcedo finding Mancini. Salcedo had shown for him. Maldini to Albertini. Here's Simone. Iranio. Now Galli breaking forward. Outside of him is Panucci. Support again from Iranio. Sacchetti there with him, and now Mihailovic. Tripped by Iranio, but the referee allowing the advantage with the serve in possession. Not for long though. Desai, the French international. Iranio easily away from Mihailovic.
Wasted cross at the end of it again.
Yep.
Final ball's been disappointing from both teams so far this second half.
It's a mistake there too. Now Boban. Caught by Salcedo's tackle. Don't think it was quite as bad as Boban made it look. Boban writhing in agony, but he's made a miraculous recovery.
It's funny that.
Albertini with Maldini alongside him here. Curled over. On in!
I think
that's astonishing.
Be very happy with that one.
He's curled it right over him and into the corner, and Milan have a second goal in almost bizarre circumstances.
I think we're going to look very strongly at the goalkeeper for that one.
Well, it's almost a candidate for what happened next. Right under the bar, Albertini, whose last goal, remember, was in this same fixture last season, has done it again. And the 10 men of Sampdoria are in serious trouble now. Albertini on 73 minutes. Sampdoria 0, Milan 2. Bullet with a header. Well, they were 2 down last season. Came back to win 3-2. But you have to query Zenga's positioning.
Oh, it was terrible. I mean, he's made an attempt to come and take the ball early, and he's not assessed the flight of the ball in any way whatsoever. He'll not want to see the replay of that one.
Savicevic was the target, but it's Salcedo. Touched off to Platt. They've got to find some inspiration now. Sampdoria. Sacchetti. This is Lombardo. The man who might just provide it. But not this time. He's run it out of play. Juventus have taken the lead against Cremonese. Vialli. I don't think you've bet against them now.
No. I think it's as good as over.
Vialli, 12 goals in Serie A this season. Cremonese down to 10 men. So that will be a major shock now if that doesn't end up as a home win. Mihailovic. This is Platt. Tackle, a clean one from Bonucci. Desai. Savicevic. Straight to Sacchetti though. Well, Liam Brady, let's get your views on what looked a pretty bizarre goal.
Well, on the goal itself, Peter, I don't believe Zenga is the best of goalkeeper at crosses anyway, and he's totally misjudged the ball. I don't think it was meant as a shot. He wasn't meant to curl it in. It was meant as a cross. I'll just stop here.
Here's Simone now. Is this going to be another one for Milan? Well, Zenga has denied it this time, or has he? Well, it's a free kick to Sampdoria, but Simone was threatening again. He's so menacing up front. Zenga just about managed to defy him.
I think you see as a defender he's the one that actually stopped him getting the ball in the back of the net.
Well, it stays at 2-0. Back to the goal that made it that then, Liam.
Yes, Peter, it was a bizarre goal. Zenga totally misjudged it, and it's ended up in the back of the net, and I felt when it was 1-0, Sampdoria were always in with a squeak, especially when Mancini got the ball. The ball he played to Lombardo was majestic, and Lombardo really should have scored to equalise. Rossi stayed on his line. He gave him the whole goal to shoot at, and he's gone and placed a shot too near Rossi to make the save. So I think it's they're dead and buried now, Sampdoria. I think Milan will just see this game out by keeping possession.
Well, here's the last throw of the dice from Sven-Goran Eriksson, the coach, sending on Ricardo Maspero in place of Salcedo. 15 minutes to make an impact. Platt. Serena. Lombardo. Put it in the middle. Good, confident play though by Rossi. Savicevic. Eranio taking the throw. Milan, you would think, in a comfortable position now, thanks to the cushion of the second goal. And I suppose you would expect Sampdoria to tire a little too after their exertions in Europe in the week, and having to cope with having had a man sent off to Manini. Serena's back pass. Mihailovic. Sergetti, Mihailovic again. This is Mancini. Costa Curta away. Now Galli. Can't reach Boban though, so Platt has it back again for Sampdoria. Urgently needing a goal now. Mancini. None of those tantalising crosses. Bullet, though, unable to capitalise on it. Desai. Aranio. Mihailovic. His former compatriot from the old Yugoslavia, Jugovic, has been suffering from flu, although he did feature as a substitute in the week. Don't think he was considered for today, though. Serena. The crowd certainly somewhat subdued now after that stunning blow of the second goal.
I think they resign themselves to the fact now that they won't be getting back in this one.
What about the title race then, Luther? Looking at the top there, Juventus obviously in control. You would think they're heading for a win today. We'll just pause for a moment as Lentini makes his entrance. Simone going off. He certainly played his part. Scorer of the first goal, and on comes the world's most expensive player.
Not a bad replacement, is it?
Not a bad man to have in reserve. But just looking at the championship race now, would you rule Milan out at this stage?
Well, you can't totally rule them out because until it becomes mathematically impossible, then they're obviously still in with a chance, and there's still enough games to play. If Juventus were to slip up, they could do it. But Juventus are well in the driving seat now, and it looks like they'll win today. It's obviously a lot of work to be done.
Boban. And maybe a setback for Parma as they're, remember, being held 2-2 at the moment by Reggiana. So that will be something of a disastrous result if it stays that way for Parma. They'd be expecting to win this afternoon. Juve still 1 up, remember, against Cremonese. Here's Boban with the free kick for Milan. Panucci. It's not a bad ball in, almost finding Savicevic. Mancini. No, Lombardo was a long, long way away. Boban. Just this air of confidence about Milan now.
That's right.
They know they're in charge.
Yeah, they're not going to let this slip now. They've worked very hard to get where they are, and they intend to keep this one.
Maspero. Platt ahead of him. I think the crowd would have appreciated a more direct approach then. But it's so hard to break Milan down, even without Baresi at the back. Lombardo away from Desai. Still Lombardo. No, nothing wrong with that challenge from Maldini.
Nothing for that. Great defending, got his body in there early on.
Lentini, who's relishing his return to first team duty. And that long spell out, of course, after his serious car accident. It's been a real struggle for him to find his form again. Hasn't had too many opportunities either in the Milan setup. Albertini. Savicevic. Only needed then a decisive touch, and that would have been another one.
That's right, he'd be cursing his luck not to have got the touch there. Great blindside run behind. The balls Milan have delivered into the box today have been very good indeed. They've always given the forwards really better than 50% chance of getting on the end of it.
David Platt. Here's Sacchetti. Mancini. Costa Curta sliding in. Lombardo, Mancini again. Once more, Baldini to block his path. Baldini. Sacchetti back into the danger zone where Platt was hovering again. Milovic and Lombardo offside.
They suit Milan. Every time the ball's played out, they all get up and make their line and leave to the forwards to run themselves offside. They do that very well indeed. Everybody clears the box. I think it was Mancini, whoever it was in the middle, that was the one who was actually offside.
Now, Lentini played his first game last Sunday for 2 months after injury. He said he feels better now with every game that he plays. I just need to get a decent run together, he says. And he wants to stay on with Milan. I don't want to go anywhere. Boban.
Great ability here, didn't he? Keep the possession and just failed with a little 1-2 there.
Well, what does Albertini have up his sleeve here? I bet Zenga keeps his concentration this time anyway. Aranio touched off to Albertini. Lentini. Now Boban. Aranio has pulled out wide again. Savicevic.
I'm surprised the referee gave that one.
He was going nowhere, was he?
That's right. 'Cause there's no way he'd have collected that ball once he did it, so bit of a surprise.
Well, he has checked Savicevic, but he'd certainly lost the ball. Sampdoria fans don't like it. Has David Platt back in his own penalty box again as it's laid off by Savicevic to Albertini. Platt's header out. Maldini. This is Aranio. Now Albertini. Just over 5 minutes to go. Lentini. No sign of Milan slackening their grip at this stage. Boban. Sampdoria having to chase. Galli. This is Costa Curta and Maldini.
Quite happy just to keep passing the ball around. From that line out, Sampdoria's cause at all giving that free kick away, because they'll just slow the game down even more now.
With Albertini. Sampdoria looking a bit low on morale now. Panucci to pump it forward again. This is Lentini. Oh, he's done well. He's got away from Platt now. Boban. Well, it maybe just got a flick on then. Sampdoria had the free kick. A few ironic cheers around the stadium from Sampdoria fans. Nothing really has gone Sam's way. 4 minutes remaining. Serena. It's a hopeful ball though, no more than that. And that's easy enough for Milan to spring the offside trap.
Just keep doing it now, just keep taking this and just killing the game at every opportunity. Which again just keeps deflating the Sampdoria team now.
Boban. This is Desai. Well, if it stays this way, and it certainly would seem that now, you can't write off Milan. As Luther was saying, they're still in touch with Juventus. And of course they have them to play next week. Quite a confrontation that's going to be. Platt. The season didn't start too well for Milan, but they're getting into gear now. Platt. Mihailovic. And they're defending well today, Milan.
They've covered each other very well, apart from early on where there was a bit of indecisiveness about the things they were doing. They've been very sound up to now.
Lentini looking very fresh, very vibrant. And he certainly feels he does need this run to recapture his best form, the form he showed really from his Torino days. The kind of form that encouraged Milan to pay so much money for him. They haven't seen him at his best. Lombardo with Platt. People have been saying Milan aren't the team they were, but their record remains impressive. This is Mancini now, though. Maybe to set up a consolation. Lombardo. Can he force his way through here? No, Albertini managing to hack it away.
Milan defenders do exactly what they've done all through the game, just snuff the danger out.
Savicevic. Lentini. And he's missed it.
Disappointing. There's been some poor finishing at times today.
Well, Sampdoria had players upfield then. They were totally exposed. And he's hit it a bit tamely then, Lentini.
Yeah, but Lickle's at the back post trying to defend it. Ruud Gullit ran all that way.
Inside the last minute. There was a foul off the ball then. Mancini and Lombardo. Boban on the counter-attack again. Savicevic this time. Right straight into Vyakovon. Serena. Well, their play this season hasn't been as exhilarating as in the past, Milan, but as I was suggesting a moment or so ago, they remain so hard to beat. They've actually lost only 9 Serie A games in 4 seasons under Fabio Capello. A record that speaks for itself, really. It's a clash of heavyweights there. Vyakovon and Desai.
A bit unfortunate there for that one. I thought he did well to get his body and then manoeuvre him out the way.
Just used his body strength, surely.
Yeah.
He's just held him off. No, I can't see anything wrong with that.
No, I didn't. He's earned him a booking.
Caution for Desai. But Charek's a little harsh. And that does mean a suspension for Desai, so he will be most incensed. Bullet can't reach it in the air. Sacchetti. Serena. Poor distribution though. Iranio. They've given it away too often, Sampdoria. Boban now. Intelligently releasing Savicevic.
I think that's a penalty, that one.
Has to be.
Great running. Superb ability there to bring that ball down under so much pressure and make his way into the box.
Vyakovon, who brought him down. The guile, the sorcery of Savicevic taking him through. Well, Bjerkevold had lost his balance and sent him flying. Well, they can protest all they like, he won't change his mind. Now, is it going to be Albertini?
Score his second goal of the game.
Well, he's waited a long time to score one. Trying to compose himself now, as is Walter Zechner in the Sampdoria goal. And here is Albertini, and it's 3-0 to Milan. 2
Fine
for
penalty.
Dimitrio Albertini.
Fine penalty, that. Very confident of one step, just stroked it into the corner.
That's almost a la Signori. Coolly into the corner. The goal coming in the second minute of injury time. And in the end, it's been a comprehensive victory for Milan. 3 goals to 0. Well, Sampdoria will look back on squandered opportunities. And of course to the sending off too of Manini. So no success today for Ruud Gullit against his old teammates. I think in the end Milan's class on the day was made to count. Fabio Capello will be anxious to know the Juventus result, to know that his team are still in with a chance, albeit some way adrift. So not a great deal for these Sampdoria fans to cheer today. Might have been different though, Luther, if Mancini had tucked away that early chance.
Yes, it always boils down to it in the end. When you play the very best and you get your chances, you have to take your chances. And when you don't take them, then invariably you end up losing the game, and you look back at it and think that's where we lost the game.
Well, they just shaded it on possession there, Sampdoria. They didn't really make it count. And Milan struck in far more clinical fashion at the other end. Simone's early goal to set them on their way, and then the 2 from Albertini from a free kick and from that very late penalty. Disappointing afternoon for Sampdoria. They come in with high hopes after their strong display in the week, but maybe that took its toll, Luther, in the end. I
think it did. I think they obviously tired legs towards the end, and Milan made great use of that, obviously with the forward running of their forwards, which were superb today. The forward runs they were making today to get in behind and then checking back to get at the feet and then take the players on was superb to watch.
OK, let's take a look back on the goals and 1 or 2 highlights. This was the first goal of the game. 11 minutes gone, and it's Marco Simone helped out here by Savicevic. That's a great ball through.
That's a great little return ball to him there. And then he goes here around the goalkeeper, and then the strength there to keep off, I think, David Platt, who was trying to get back. And then to roll it in the net was superb. As David Platt's there thinking, I can just about stop this, but great strength there. Keep him off and to roll it into the net.
Well, Milan had their early reward, but Sampdoria, as we were saying a moment or so ago, had the chance to come back. This is Bjerkevold.
I mean, we all know about his strength, and I mean, he showed great strength there, and then composure to roll the ball into the box the way he did. And very disappointing finish there from Mancini.
Well, now this is a bit of a scramble in the box here. Desai almost got to it.
That's right. It originally came off Mihailovic, didn't it, as the corner came in. And then Ivani cleared it off the line. Desai got a toe to it but couldn't get enough on it. And obviously the goalkeeper then hooks it away. And danger's cleared.
So narrow squeak there for Sampdoria. Now this is the sending off of Manini. Savicevic with just too much pace there for Bjerkevold.
Great pace there. And you see there, I don't think he'd ever have got that. I mean, that was the goalkeeper's ball definitely once he touched it there.
So Manini a little reckless, yeah. He'd already been booked, he'd have been sent off with that anyway, I'm sure.
And that really sealed their fate, really, once he did that. And that was a fine save, wasn't it, from Rossi there. Lombardo did one brilliant there to get in front. How deft is Savedes there, going in there all the way, and great save.
There he is again. That's one of the saves of the season.
It was, yeah.
The awareness of Mancini had sent him away, and Lombardo can't believe that he's failed to finish it off there. Well, this one I'll look at.
There he goes. He starts going out to go and collect the cross, and totally misjudges it. I think he was hoping there that it was an indirect one. If you see him.
And here's the penalty. I mean, he had just lost his balance for Jokovic, and he's pulled him down, and I can't really see there's any argument there. So it had to be a penalty. Albertini scored for his second of the game. So in the end, it was Milan cruising to victory. We'll have the other scores in a moment. In fact, we'll just see the penalty first. Albertini being given the task to give him the chance to collect that second goal.
Very coolly and confidently done, wasn't it?
OK, we'll have those scores very shortly. Meantime, it's back to Liam Brady with James.
Well, thanks, Peter. You were very right about Milan then, as it turns out, Liam. An impressive performance then, but not by Sampdoria. I know you were talking about the midfield earlier, not giving enough service maybe to the forwards, but I beg your pardon, Lombardo had a clear chance, Mancini had a clear chance early on. I mean, the chances were there for them.
Yes, I would have to say that, yeah. The Mancini had a great chance in the first half, and how Lombardo missed in the second half, I do not know. As I said, it was a tremendous ball from Mancini, great vision. And really, he had one side of the goal completely open, and he failed to put it there. But I felt Milan always looked the fresher side, more disciplined side. And, you know, when Manini got sent off, it was nearly an impossible task for Sampdoria to come back in the match. Plus, the mistake by Zenga to let Milan in for a second goal.
Well, listen, Arsenal had a couple of scouts here. I know you were talking to them earlier. They're going to be reasonably optimistic, I would have thought, after watching that.
Yes, when you think that Hullet won't be playing, David Platt's going to be suspended, so absolutely. I think the danger man is definitely Mancini, followed closely by Lombardo. If they can keep those two quiet, they've got a real chance. And I think, you know, looking at the way Zenga handles crosses, dead ball kicks for Arsenal are going to be vital.
Okay. Well, let's find out after that disappointing result for Sampdoria how the rest of the teams got on this, the 24th weekend of the season.
So, zipping through the scores, Bari 1, Napoli 1, Tovaglieri after 5 minutes there for Bari, Carbone with equaliser on 27. Brescia have been well beaten at home, 4-1 by Torino, Pele, Rizzatelli, 2 goals for Salenzi, 1 from the penalty spot. Neri, the lone reply for Brescia, and Carini missed a penalty for them in the final minute. Cagliari 0, Roma 1, so Roma maintained their challenge. Balbo on 18 minutes, that was from the penalty spot. Inter 3, Foggia 0, Jonk, Berti and Bergkamp were the scorers for Inter today. Juventus have beaten Cremonese, just a 1 goal scored by Gianluca Vialli on 72 minutes. 2 Cremonese players were sent off, De Agostini and Verdelli. Lazio beaten Genoa by 4 goals to 0, Bacci, Chamot, Fuzet and Di Vaio on the score sheet. Reggiana 2, Parma 2, so they failed to win today, Parma. Fernando Couto and Minotti were the scorers. For them, Esposito and Simutenkov for Reggiana. So a check on the top of the table will show Juventus still out in front. And they've increased their lead then to 6 points now over Parma. Milan in 3rd place, a further 3 points behind. Roma on 41 there in 4th place. Leading scorers, Batistuta of Fiorentina on 19. They play in the night game against Padova. Balbo on 15, he got a penalty today. Tovaglieri, and then comes Signori and Zola. That's it from Luther Blissett and myself. I return you to James.
Well, those are the standings then, Liam. 6 points once again, the gap at the top. Now, you were talking earlier before the game about Milan still being in the hunt. You really think there's a chance of that?
Well, there's an outside chance. It's a slim chance, but if they carry on winning, you know, they can't do any more than that, and hopefully Juventus will slip up. As we know, Milan are playing Juventus in the next fixture, and Juventus have got to go to San Siro and get a result. If Milan can beat them, they're definitely back in it. But it was a tremendous result today for Juventus, with Parma only drawing.
Right. 13 points the gap between Juve and 3rd place Milan, with just 10 games left now, and for Parma too. I mean, it's not a fatal slip up though, is it? Bringing the gap back down to 6 points.
No, but 6 points with a team the way Juventus are playing, I don't know. It seems to be a convincing points advantage for me now.
Right.
But if Milan can beat them next week, or not next week, the week after, obviously Parma got a very hard match in Rome as well, so it's still very much to play for.
Okay, and I mean, we were talking about Arsenal, Sampdoria's next opponents. presumably with Sampdoria's result here today, by no means is the UEFA place looking certain for them, so that's going to be especially important for them. Anyway, the game against Arsenal, that is, so I just made that clear. Liam, anyway, thanks very much for joining us. We won't be back, as Liam mentioned, next week because there are no Serie A matches with the national team in action. We will be back on Tuesday night with Padova Fiorentina. We'll also be back on Saturday morning with our Gazzetta programme. For now, though, we say goodbye and we leave you with Milan's first 2 goals today.